Hi, everyone. Welcome to my second chat. So it'll be perfect, just like the first one, right? My name is Wren, W-R-E-N, aka BL Compilations, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. We're going to go through some questions, have a couple announcements, and then we have open chat time. The rules for the chat are just be respectful, and this is being recorded. I noticed that the live replay didn't upload right away. I think it was within 24 hours. So I guess maybe it takes YouTube some time to process the live replay. I don't know how that all works, but. All right, so the first question is from Jane Austen Wannabe. What series are you the most excited about that hasn't started yet? And you can add yours in the chat as well. I have a few. I'm excited for Heartstopper Season 2, which will air in a couple weeks on Netflix on August 3rd. And then Choco Milkshake should have a second season. I think they're filming this fall, so I expect it to probably air early of 2024 or maybe really late of 2023. Only Friends, yep. I know a lot of people. I'm looking forward to that one too. Although I've been burned a few times. So maybe I should be just cautiously optimistic on that. Cherry Magic, the Thai version, the trailer was released, was that 2 or 3 days ago? And I thought it looked good. It definitely is a little different than the original, but I think that's fine. I like the Scam Season 3 of all the different countries, so I'm looking forward to that. Naughty Babe, I see in the chat. Love Tainu. And then this one, I'm not sure if we are actually going to get it because I think the pilot trailer aired last year and I haven't heard anything, but it's Wish Me Luck. There are two. There's Wish You Luck and Wish Me Luck. But the Wish Me Luck, it's an Office one, which I know we've had a lot of Office ones, but it has Fiat Bachata in it. And I really liked him in My Gear and My Gown, which, random aside, I didn't watch at first because I thought it had to do with prom because of the title. I didn't realize it was a medical gown, but yeah, if you're like me, it's a medical gown and not a prom situation happening there. So those are the ones that I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking in the chat. Wish You Luck and Wish Me Luck gets you confused. Yes. Just like all the stay ones. We have, I think, 4 that have the word stay, all airing in July. So that's a little confusing as well. So the next question is by Sarkava. I practiced it beforehand, but Sarkavana Narova. I'm sorry. I messed up your name. I apologize. What is your guilty pleasure BL? So my guilty pleasure BL is Unforgotten Night. And you can tell it's my guilty pleasure because I made a music video of it that you can go watch. I rewrote the lyrics to my favorite things and recorded myself singing it, and then found used clips from the series and talked about tilted lights and shoes on the bed, and the tiger tattoo, I think, was in there. So yeah, the water taps just running. Their water budget must have been ginormous with all of the running water. So yeah, that's my guilty pleasure. I see some people saying, anyone want to say what their guilty pleasure is? Or maybe no one wants to admit it. There's a slight lag between what I see in the chat, I think, and when you see my video, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. Yeah, what's your guilty pleasure? Go for it. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I do rewatch Love by Chance. I skip parts, and Love by Chance too, and I skip parts in that as well. But I watch Tin Can and Love by Chance too. Love Syndrome, My Engineer, I Long Nigh, Big Dragon. Nice. Side characters. Love in the Air. Awesome. Everyone, I said it last time, everyone likes different things, and it's totally fine in fiction. So if you love something and a majority of people don't, that's totally fine. This question is from In Antarctica, and I wanted to ask, so how does BL watching go at your research station? Do you just put some earbuds in and then just hope for the best? Or, I mean, it's pretty cramped quarters, I think, down there. I've never been. I'd love to know your favorite and least favorite shows of the year so far. Okay, so I'm going to go through my favorite and least favorite. I looked on my drama list of what was currently airing that I rated a 9 or above. And I have His Man Season 2. I have Tokyo in April Is. And I have Stay by My Side. Now, these could change, and they could, you know, I don't know, they could go higher or lower. That has definitely happened before. So they might not stay as some of my favorites. Those are some of my favorites right now. You can say what your favorites are too. And then Stay With Me too. I haven't totally caught up yet, but I think they're doing a good job. For ones that have finished airing, I have, I should say His Man Season 2 is reality dating series. So, and then Sparks Camp is also a reality dating series. So Sparks Camp, The End of the World with You, Our Dining Table, Our Dating Sim, The Eighth Sense, Love Tractor, Moonlight Chicken, and The Day I Loved You. So I have a lot of other ones that I've enjoyed that I've rated, but these are the ones that I rated 9 or 9.5. I don't think anything has a 10. I think I only have one thing that I've rated a 10, and it's a short. So Love Tractor, I'm looking to see what people are saying. Tokyo in April is phenomenal. Some people don't watch the currently airing and binge. Well, good for you. I wish I had the self-control to do that, but I don't. So I watch everything currently airing. Unless it's something I'm really not enjoying, and then I kind of put it on hold and I see what people are saying, and I might pick it back up or pick up the end episodes. Be my favorite. I haven't updated some of my reviews, so actually Be My Favorite should probably be on there. Eighth Sense. Destroy Me. Moonlight Chicken was beautiful for side characters. Awesome. And then the second part of this question was my least favorite. And as I told you, I don't like, you most likely will never see me make a video of the 10 BL series that I hate. I could totally make a video on that, but I try to stay positive, and I don't want to make someone feel bad if they like that. You know, it's fine to like different things. So I'm just going to mention one series that I did not enjoy. And if you liked it, that's totally fine. I just personally did not like it. Do it. You don't want me to do it. Yeah, I probably won't, but I mean, I won't say never, never. I most likely won't though. So this one I thought had a really interesting premise, and it could have been really good, but unfortunately the writing was weak, and it just ended up being confusing and kind of choppy and random. This actually applies to a few series this year, but as I'm describing, I realize this can sound like a few things. So the Luminous Solution, I'm going to avoid spoilers, but I'll just say that it had an interesting premise, and I think they just didn't write it well. I could see where they were going with it, but they just missed it, unfortunately. Yeah. So again, I won't list all of the things that I didn't like, but you can go on MyDramaList, actually, and I think I have reviews for every BL series that has English subtitles from the summer of 2021 until now. So if you're curious, you can go and you can see my written reviews. And I don't say, everything's a 10 out of 10. I don't say everything's a 1 out of 1. So I give my honest personal opinion on what I liked and what I thought could be improved upon. So if you're curious, you can always go to MyDramaList. It's BL Compilations. All of my stuff is BL Compilations. I snatched up the username. So yeah, I thought you were talking about Chains of Heart. I realized as I was saying it, I just thought, this actually applies to more than one thing. Chains of Heart is your unforgotten night. It almost got there for me. And I can see how it did get there for some people. Again, could have been a really interesting premise, and there were parts that were really well done. I thought, cinematography or production value overall. But yeah, that just kind of missed it a little bit there. From Dee Dee, do you ever comment on shows on MyDramaList site? I've seen some of your reviews, but I don't think I've seen you comment on any shows. So no, I generally don't comment on MyDramaList unless someone comments on my review, and then sometimes I'll respond to that. The reason why is on MyDramaList, people can get very passionate with their opinions, and I don't really want to get into it with strangers online. So see laughing emoji. Yeah, the emoji is a new thing, the reaction. Yeah, so I generally don't. And then if it's something I'm not enjoying, I don't want to just go and say, I don't like this, I hate this is stupid. Because again, there are people that enjoy it, and I don't want to make other people feel bad. So I write my review and I put my honest opinion in my review, and then that's that. I am generally fairly good about staying out of MyDramaList comments on the main page, but there have been a couple times that I may have commented, but overall I stay out of it, and that's why. The next, there's a bunch of questions, so I'm just going to go through them. Passionate. Jay Scott said, who I thought was the biggest flirt. There are a lot of flirts, and I think I've made 2 videos of some of the biggest flirts. So I'll just mention 2 of them. And I just realized 2, they're both from the Philippines. So Gav from Game Boys is a huge flirt. He is flirty season 1. He's flirty season 2. He's a flirt. And then Jamie from Win Jamie's Heart is probably the most sensual flirt I've seen. If you've watched that series, it's on YouTube. I think it's only 6 episodes or 8. It's pretty short. I really wish they had a season 2 so we could get more of the story. But that was, yeah, Jamie was quite a flirt. Do I think Choco Milkshake Uncle will get a name? Or you might be asking someone else. Do I think Choco Milkshake Uncle will get a name in season 2? We all hope so. Strongberry, you're most likely not listening to this. But if you are, can you please give your character Uncle a name and not just people and characters calling him Uncle? That would be lovely. Thank you. I mean, and then the other character's name is Milk. So their ship name is Uncle Milk or Milk Uncle? I mean, it's a choice. The next question was best dimples. That's an impossible question. In the subreddit Boys Love, there was a whole dimple battle that you could go and search for those threads. But I would say 3 of my favorites are War from Love Mechanics, Nanon, I hope I'm saying his name right, from Bad Buddy, and then JC Alcantara from Hello Stranger. And I'm actually going to see if I can copy the production made a video. Oops. Oh gosh. Made a video of all the dimples in the series that the character and the actor made. Thanks for the shout out. Okay, so I pasted the YouTube video. If afterwards you want to go into the chat and see it. It's really cute. I think it was 50-ish times that Miko showed his dimple in Hello Stranger. So if you want just a little pick-me-up, you can watch that video and I think you'll feel better. The next question, my favorite kisses. And those of you that are in the chat, feel free to add your answers to these questions too. My favorite kisses, I was trying to think of how I would answer this, and just watch the 2 iconic videos that I made. I think those are my favorite kisses, or most of my favorite kisses. So the one, it's really difficult to choose, but the one that I did think of as maybe my most favorite is from Shadowhunters, which the series is not a BL series, but it has a BL couple in it. And their couple name is Malik. And I don't want to give it away, that scene, but it's epic. I mean, the song is really good. It's actually my ringtone. It's War of Hearts by Ruel. And the female character was really good in it. And there was just so much emotion. And I just really liked that scene. And also the way Alec sidelined his mom was epic as well. That was great. So, oh, someone watched it because they saw it in my video. Malik had criminally low amount of screen time. There are probably people that have, well, I know they have compiled all of their scenes, but people are writing down the bar scene from Semantic Error. That's in one of my videos. The Bad Buddy first kiss, yes. My school president. These are all Cutie Pie kiss. The We Best Love on the bridge. That's in the iconic one too. Yes. Old fashioned cupcake with the thumb. I think I didn't put it in the iconic videos because I had just put that in maybe a video or 2 before. So, but yes, that was also iconic. So there are several iconic kissing ones. The most original way to block a rival is the next question. So I'm going to give this one to Toe in Secret Crush on You. I am going to spoil this scene because I don't think it's really a major spoiler overall. It's episode 7, part 2. So Toe's love interest, who's Nua, again, I'm sorry if I'm not saying the names right, his ex-girlfriend, Prow, is basically trying to get back together with him, trying to kiss him. And I mean, he's not interested, but Toe sees it and he goes in between them basically, and then he kisses the woman. And yeah, I thought that was a really epic way to get rid of his love rival. So, oh yeah, so that was an interesting way to block a rival. So Toe and Secret Crush on You would be my answer for the most original way to block a rival. I think I've made videos on, or at least one on blocks. I probably have. It sounds familiar. Character, the next question is character who has 0. I'm going to censor this a little bit. I don't know how picky YouTube is. 0 Fs to give. So I'm going with Noe from I Will Knock You. That character was just himself. I mean, I really enjoyed his character. I don't think it's a character we see very often, but he did have a high level of self-esteem and confidence and going after what he wanted. And we do see that he does listen to a few people who he loves, but overall, he didn't let what his friends thought, what society thought, stop him from doing what he wanted to do. So I give him props for that. I Will Knock You is, I think, exclusively on Gaga Ooh La La. I don't know that it's being re-released anywhere. There's a few that will be coming to Viki, but I don't know if that was one of them. Did he not know his times table, though? Or was he just messing around? Here's the question. Oh, it's on High TV. Okay. His confidence was epic. Yes. I thought that was really cool. So that was my answer for that one. There are 3 questions that are fairly short-ish from Anmol. So BL couple or love triangle? Couple. I really don't like love triangles. I don't like them for several reasons, but one of them is 99.99% of the time, I know who the end couple is going to be. And so I just wish we would spend more time with the end game and not the love rival. I think also with South Korea, they don't have a lot of budget and they try to have too much plot. Actually, might talk about this later. So there's no time for a love triangle. No time for a love triangle. Again, probably no South Korean producers are listening to this or will ever listen to this, but you just don't have time. There's no time. Just cut out the love triangle and focus on the couple, and then your series won't be as choppy and confusing, and everyone will be happier. So yeah, I'm not a fan of love triangles. And then people are saying love triangle is lazy writing. It's a very overdone way to create drama. Yes, that's true. And I would like to see more thruples. Yes, definitely. Let's get some poly relationships in here. Sad BL series or romantic BL series? Romantic. I love rom-coms. I love romance series with happily ever afters. I love them from every country. I love them from any gender. I love them from any sexual orientation. All of them. Give me the romance. I love it. I've loved it for a long time. I was in middle school. I still can't believe they let me do this. And I checked out adult bodice rippers from the public library when I was in middle school and read some very intense, and I turned out fine, right? So, you know, yeah. Anyway, which BL series made me cry the most? So I actually don't cry that much during BL series. I'm not sure why, because I somehow cry at Disney movies when I've seen the ending multiple times and I know that it's happily ever after and I still cry. So I'm not sure what exactly it is, but I would say the one that I cried the most is Life, Love on the Line, the director's cut. So there's 2 versions of it. The director's cut is on Viki, but you have to be like a paid subscriber of Viki. The other one, I think, is free. So maybe not as many people have seen the director's cut. The director's cut doesn't have, is it maybe 15 minutes at the end? It's not that much extra time, and I think it's all at the end of the movie series. And I won't ruin it. I'm not going to spoil it, but bring a box of tissues because I was bawling at that ending. I mean, whew. Moonlight Chicken got somebody. Yes. I mean, so it will make you cry. It's really good. So I would recommend it, but I know it can be challenging for mental health to watch something sad. So I understand if people don't want to watch sad things. As I said, I prefer romantic things. For me, if I watch something sad, I have something planned to watch afterwards that's really fluffy. And it could be something like Off Gone Fun Night, or I don't know, just a short, fluffy movie or series or something. And then that's how I make it happen, to watch something sad. But yes, that one is pretty sad. There's another series. It's not a BL series. I would say it's a slice of life. It has 4 couples in it. 3 are male, female. And then one couple is, did I say 4? 4 couples. And then one is male, male. So there is a BL couple in it, but it is not a BL series. It's called Residential Complex. And it's on Viki. I don't know if it's free on Viki or paid on Viki though. But that is one that I think I cried the most throughout the series. I don't know how many episodes. It's not super long, maybe 10. It's from Japan, and I needed a box of tissues for that one. I don't want to ruin things because it's not tragic. I'll tell you it's not tragic, but it also might be one of those things that it depends on your personal experience, right? And that series in particular spoke to me. So I cried a lot during that series, if anyone has seen it. And if not, you can check it out, but maybe bring a box of Kleenex or tissue and something fluffy to watch afterwards. Japanese dramas like to tear us apart. They do. They can really give you a gut punch for sure. The next question is from Yummy. Favorite things about BL in each country? So I will just do a few that produce the most BL. So Thailand, the OG. I would say my favorite things about Thailand, I think they're like the bread and butter of rom-coms, right? I think they have a lot of rom-coms. They do a lot of them well. And they've also branched out. It used to be high school, and then, okay, I say college. I know a lot of you say university, so I'll use university. So it was high school, then university. Now it seems workplace is really popular, but they've also had some other ones, Manner of Death, Kin Porsche. So I feel that Thailand has been branching out, and I like rom-coms, so I'm happy with rom-coms. Obviously, they make more than just rom-coms. I'll talk a little bit about things I don't particularly love, where I think they could improve on, and that's cutting out filler. I think a lot of the Thai series are almost too long, and they need to cut out some of the extra stuff and just make the pacing a bit tighter, a little faster. But this is my personal opinion. So that's just me and my opinion. Japan, I really like how the actors play very different characters. It seems I'm not super familiar with the acting scene in any of these countries, but I also like in Japan that they have fluffy rom-coms, but we actually kind of talked about how they have some really, I don't want to say dark, although they do have some really dark stuff, but really hits you in the gut type of series. So I think that's kind of interesting. And then overall, the production value, I think, is really well done, like camera work and things. A lot of the things I think are adapted from manga, which I think has some pros and some cons. I think sometimes the adaptations should maybe adapt a little bit more because it feels a bit too severe. An example would be in Mr. Unlucky Has No Choice But to Kiss, is the manga has a punch in it between the two leads, and I feel like that should have been changed into a shove. But I know some people really want to stick with the source material, but the punch felt too harsh in my opinion. So again, totally my opinion. South Korea, what do I love about South Korea? It's the K-drama, just the romantic camera work and the blurring and yeah, it's that kind of K-drama feel for their series. I would say I really hope that they get more budget so they can have longer run times. And then the other thing that I'd like to see improved upon, I know it happens in straight romances as well, is the kissing situation. I think we get the most dead fish lip presses from South Korea. What I like from the Philippines is the realism. It just, you can get some realism from other countries, but I think the Philippines does a good job with realism. And I will say that I like to watch things that are realistic romance and also idealized romance. I like to see both. I think the Philippines does a good job with the realistic ones. I mean, they have some that are kind of a little more idealized as well. And then the area that I also hope they get is more, well, really, I wish everyone gets more money. More money! But the budget and the production value, I get the sense that they don't have a lot of budget for their things. So I hope they get more budget and they can make even more series. We haven't really had that much from the Philippines recently. It's been a little bit of a desert happening. And then the last I was going to talk about is Taiwan. So they're the only country in Asia that has legalized same-sex marriage. And I think it's kind of cool because they do sometimes have marriage in their series. And there are other countries that have marriages, but they're not legally binding marriages. They're, a ceremony. So I think it's cool when Taiwan has, the marriages in their series. That's a nice aspect. Their production values, I think, are pretty good overall. And I think the kissing scenes are done pretty well. I would like to see more series from them. We actually didn't have a single series from Taiwan that started airing in 2023. We just got, it's one of the stays. Stay by My Side, I think. So confusing. Stay by My Side just started in July. And I know there's another one that will be airing the end of August, but I hope we get some more series because I think they have some real potential there. Stay by My Side is Taiwan. About youth. Because of You, I thought was good, but I think they needed to reduce the number of couples. And now that I'm saying it, I think they have a lot of side couples, which it's not terrible to have a side couple, but I think when you start getting 3 or more, that can get a bit tricky to balance well and give enough time for all of the couples to develop well. So, and then also question was the trends or the future of BL. What do I see as the trends or the future? So let me get out my crystal ball here and make some predictions. If you had asked me this question in 2022, I would have said that I thought we were going to see more BL series from pretty much all of the countries that have been making them in 2023. And that actually has not been the case. So I think it is the case for South Korea. There were a lot of series that started this year, although now it's kind of slowed down. So it will be interesting to see how many series get released for the second half. But as I mentioned, Taiwan didn't have a single one for half of the year. The Philippines has had a couple small ones, smallish ones, but I don't think they've had, I'm trying to think if they've had anything like Game Boys. I think The Day I Loved You maybe is the closest one, unless I'm totally forgetting a series from the Philippines right now. So The Day I Loved You. Okay, I'm right. So that's probably the closest one that was, I would say, kind of maybe more budget or larger, more popular. So I'm not really sure where this is going. I don't think it's going to vanish, but maybe we've reached a little bit of a plateau happening. The future, I think we'll see more diversity in plots. As I mentioned before, we had the high school and then the university. Now we're firmly entrenched in workplace, office. So I think that there will be, we'll see some more historical. There have been a couple ones that tried some fantasy elements. So yeah, I think we'll see some more diversity in settings specifically. And historical is it with Net James? Oh, what's the title of it? It's like, I Feel You Linger in the Air? I'll see if anyone in the chat. We've seen a lot of supernatural. There have been, several with some supernatural elements. And I'm actually fine with, if there's high school or university, or as long as it's done well, I will take any plot. So I don't really get saturated if it's done well. So I could watch a high school one if it's done well. I enjoyed My School President. I thought they did a good job. I Feel You Linger in the Air. Yes, I don't think it has a release date yet, though. Here's the thing with Thailand too. They released those pilot trailers and then the series doesn't air for over a year. So I don't know if it will be in 6 months or a year and a half that we will get the series. But so I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts on what we might see in the future. But I don't think we're going to see a huge drought of BL series, but it might not be as exponential as I was predicting it was going to be if you had asked me last year. All right, I have a couple more questions and then some announcements. K-Pop Struck asked me, did I expect my channel to go viral? So the interesting thing is my channel didn't really go viral. Exactly. I started making videos in May of 2021, and I had about at least 20 videos at the end of November, 25. I don't remember how many it was. It was a decent amount, and I didn't have many subscribers. I didn't have many views at all. And then it's the first surprise kiss video, and that did go viral. And I don't think anything has ever happened the same with one of my 5-minute ones. So that took a week and a half after I uploaded the video, and it started getting traction. So I think YouTube picked it up in their algorithm and pushed it out. And I mean, I don't know how their algorithm works, but a lot of people saw it and liked it. And so that thing just really took off, and that really kickstarted the channel. But before that was 6 months of hard work that didn't seem to be working, but I decided I was going to give it a solid year. And I've mentioned before that this is like a passion project. I don't get money. It's pretty much a hobby. It's something I enjoy doing. So I thought I'll give it a year and then I'll reassess if I want to keep going or change my publishing schedule or things like that. So hard work pays off. It does sometimes. A lot of times it does. Yes. So yeah, I didn't expect that one. I don't know what the difference is with that video. I mean, it had, it was surprise kisses, but I've made videos that are kind of kissing based that they have not gone viral. So I don't really know why that one went viral, but I mean, I'm happy because then a lot of people discovered my channel. What are my plans for going forward? So I put on the thumbnail the end of my channel. So what are my plans for going forward? I don't have any plans to end my channel. So, but before you breathe a sigh of relief, I might not have a choice, and I'll explain it a little bit. So, when was that? In February? I received a copyright strike for a 32-second heavily edited short. It wasn't one of my 5-minute compilations. And a copyright strike is real bad. If you get 3 within 90 days, YouTube instantly would delete my whole channel, all the videos, all the comments. And I think they might delete my Gmail and Drive account. I can't find an exact answer on that one. So someone said the relief I let out. Yeah, just wait. Just wait before you're relieved. So some of you might say, well, just appeal because that's clearly fair use. It was a short clip. You have heavily edited it. You're not making any money off of it. And I would agree with you that that is fair use. However, the copyright holder didn't think it was fair use. And you might not know that unless you're a really huge YouTuber, YouTube stays out of it for the most. They're not the judge or jury. The prosecutor, the company that brings the copyright claim or strike, is the judge and the jury. They make all the decisions. So I went to appeal the strike, and YouTube had a very scary screen that said, just make sure that you want to do, basically it said, just make sure you want to do this because you are entering, or you could be entering a legal situation. So I got the sense that they could sue me and bring me to court, I guess maybe in another country. And I don't have the money or time or energy to fight a foreign company in another country over my 32-second clip. So I just waited it out, and luckily I didn't get any more strikes. So then after 90 days, the strike goes away. But if I get 3 strikes within 90 days, then my whole channel will be gone. I am uploading my shorts on TikTok now, and I might upload my longer videos, I guess, too, as a backup, but you're not allowed to make another YouTube channel if YouTube deletes your account. So I can't create another username or another Gmail account and then create another YouTube account. That's it. Done. So anyway, I don't have plans to end my channel. However, that might not be my choice, unfortunately. So we'll just hope for the best. And I'm not using any clips from, well, this is the tricky thing too. I thought it was a production company that did the strike. And I thought, well, I just won't, unfortunately, but I won't use any clips from that company, which I think is free advertising. So I don't know why they wouldn't want clips, but anyway. But then I realized, and they shall remain nameless because I want to protect myself, but let's call them Company B. I realized it's actually not the production company that did the strike. The production company has hired another company called Company B. I mean, that's not the real name. That's just what I'm using. and they're managing the intellectual property. They're an intellectual property management company, and they're very strict. And the scary thing is, I have no idea who has hired this company. So, I mean, that's kind of frightening. So I can't even say I won't use clips from certain series because I don't even know which series have asked them to be their intellectual property management. So yeah, things to be careful about is copyright works differently in different countries. So this is another thing I was going to look up, because whose law is a YouTuber need to abide to? Because YouTube headquarters are in the US. And if the YouTuber is in US, wouldn't you follow US law? Are you saying that you have to follow all countries' copyright laws that contradict each other? I mean, I don't understand how that works. But I looked at what the copyright holder has to fill out to claim something, and I really wish YouTube, if it is US copyright law, I wish they would have just a short question. There's 4 factors. It's really complicated, and I'm not a lawyer, but there are 4 factors of fair use. And I wish that they would have the copyright holder check off that they don't meet the 4 factors of fair use. So maybe that would do a little bit of education. I don't know, but who knows? I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand how it all works. I just want to make fun videos, people. Like, can we just let me make videos that make people happy and promote series and things? I just want to make people laugh and smile. So I'll do my best. I appreciate all of your support. How did you only find out now? I didn't really publicize about TikTok. I don't know. I feel weird sometimes publicizing things. So yeah, I kind of just put that on TikTok. Could it have been the music behind the clip? No, it wasn't the music. If it's the music, I think all of the music has been a copyright claim where they'll monetize the video. So they'll put ads on my whole 5-minute video for a 5-second music. And how that's not fair use, I don't understand. But for 5 seconds of music, they'll monetize the whole video and they'll get the money. So I don't know. Yeah, the music hasn't been as much of a headache. It was definitely the whole video. Now, if you used a whole song, you might get in trouble and they might do a strike if you're using the entire song. But I use 5 seconds. That's it. Or less. So I don't use a lot of, if it's pop music or music that has copyright. I do use longer music that is from the YouTube audio library that is free to use. You don't get copyright claims or strikes for that. Maybe it was because I have just enough for monetizing. Yeah, the copyright strike, they don't get any. It's so bizarre to me why they do a strike too. Because it was a short, so I don't think you can monetize really the same way with shorts. But I don't really know why they would do strikes unless it's a whole episode. I can see if somebody uploaded an entire episode of something to do a strike. But in my mind, anything else isn't preventing people from watching the series. If anything, it's the opposite. And then people see a clip or reaction and they think, oh, this looks interesting. I'm going to go watch this series or this movie. So it's really free promotion. But again, I'm not the companies that did it. So someone needs to talk to them, I guess, and inform them. Okay, I didn't want to end on a sad question of that possible end of my channel. So which gives you, oh, and I forgot, this is from Academic Purple, who is one of our lovely mods. Thank you, and the Book Huntress for moderating the chat. I'm terrible at multitasking. So I try to watch the chat, but talking and watching just, I don't know. It's really difficult. And typing too, trying to talk and type, I can't do it. Academic Purple asked the plans for going forward. And then this one is, which gives me more satisfaction? Making the memes or the videos. So videos and the longer videos give me more satisfaction. I have more comments on them. Yeah, I just feel more satisfied when I finish a longer video. As I mentioned, it takes about 15 hours to make them. So I do feel satisfied when they are finished, but I don't make them as much because they're so time consuming that I could tell I was going to probably burn myself out. And that's not to say if I take a vacation, I might only have 1 5-minute video a month. But I didn't want to have to take a prolonged break from YouTube because I got burnt out. So that's why I do them every other week right now. I also enjoy the memes and the shorts that I do as well. Most of the shorts are just taken from the longer ones, but then I do have some shorts that are not taken from the longer videos, and I think they're fun too. Upload when I want. Thank you. I will. Self-care. Yes, I enjoy all of them. Shorts, the longer videos, and memes. And sometimes, I mean, I'm sure that there's advice that I'm supposed to be posting on social media every single day, but it's not happening. I mean, that would definitely burn me out if I was forcing myself to post every single day a meme. So I just kind of try to do at least one a week. But it also depends on what I see and what ideas I come up with, because I come up with the ideas. So it's kind of whenever I see something, I think, oh, that would make a good, meme, or that would make a good short. Social media is kind of trash. Okay. We're a little late. We might go a little long. It's okay. So a couple of announcements. Thank you for liking and commenting on videos. I do read them. I appreciate them. It helps me to keep going. I have social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. My username is all BL Compilations. I have a website too. And if you'd like to support me, I have 3 guides. There's one specifically for Gaga Ooh La La with happy things. And then there's one that's streaming, a lot of streaming platforms. So like Viki and IQIYI and WeTV and Netflix and Hulu, and I don't know, there's like 15 streaming platforms. And then there's another one that's free stuff. So if you don't have a large budget and you want to watch BL, there are actually, I think it has over 300 series, movies, and short movies that are free to watch. So I have guides, and you can get them at my website at blcompilations.com. And there's a coupon, and I put it in the video description, which is summer40. It's all lowercase, summer, and then the number 40. And you get 40% off. So you can get a guide and support me. You get something, too, out of it. And the coupon is good until the end of August 31st. So, the last thing is, a couple last things. One, Monday, I think I'm going to have a video. So it's a longer video, but it's the same video as, not this last one, but the one before, which was the worst interruptions. That was so frustrating. So I was a little nervous about that video and age restriction. I uploaded it probably a week before and scheduled it. And then I don't know if it was a day, they age restricted it before it was even public. And then I appealed the age restriction and I won my appeal. So they age restricted it. Then it was published to everybody. And within 6 hours, they age restricted it a second time. And then I appealed, and then they declined. They rejected my appeal the second time. So it got age restricted. And that's basically, age restriction kills a YouTube video. YouTube won't push it out to anybody. So I remixed it. They also don't tell you what is the problem, which is very frustrating. So I kind of sort of figured it out by uploading some shorts to figure out which clips might be the problem and might not be the problem. And then I mixed it, cut it a little bit, and I'm going to upload that on Monday, or my Monday, which might be your Sunday or Tuesday. And we will see if it gets age restricted. If it gets age restricted a second time, then I might just delete, I don't know, I might just delete the second version. I'll leave the original one up, but I'm really hoping it doesn't get age restricted this time. Anyway, it's frustrating. All right, we have, oh, and then the last one is, I said I would do a live when I reached 100,000 and I would have Dancing with a Sword. I will still have Dancing with a Sword. However, again, I don't know why. I really don't know why sometimes, but a couple of my shorts went kind of viral. And so my subscribers increased quite a bit. So I think I'm at 96,000 and I'm not doing a live in 2 weeks. I am not prepared. I haven't figured out the costuming. Somehow I have a lot of costuming and none of it seems to match, or I don't think it's going to work. Anyway, I need to practice more and figure out my costuming situation. So it's probably going to be a month to 3 months before the celebration of 100,000 subscribers. And it might be 105,000 subscriber celebration or 110, I don't know, something. But we'll celebrate, it'll be fun. Love you, thank you. So, I kind of love to see it. I don't know that I'll do floor work. Floor work is another challenge to do. I can also dance with a veil, but I think I might hold that for a future one. And then if I get to like 1 million and I'm still alive and can dance, then maybe I'll do fire. I haven't danced with fire in a long time, and I have to be outside because the ceiling is too low here to use fire. But it is pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, if I get to like 1 million, which would happen in probably, I don't know, 30 years. So if I'm still making videos at that point and I'm still able to dance, then I'll dance with fire for everybody. Fire indoors is dangerous. Yeah, I mean, if you have a high enough ceiling and you don't have, because it produces smoke, so a little bit. So you have to have a high ceiling, and you can't have, fire suppression systems that automatically will turn on with water sprinklers and things and alarms because you'll set them off. So generally you have to perform it outside, but then outside is dependent upon weather. And then also if it's windy, I performed fire outside and I ate the fire, and I had practiced it a ton and was totally fine. I had practiced it. It was good. And then during the performance, I went to eat the fire and it was windy. So the fire blew in my mouth as I was trying to, and it burned the inside of my mouth. And it wasn't terrible. I didn't have to go to the hospital, but I did burn my mouth, and that was very unpleasant. So that's why I'd say that I'm willing to do it, but we're going to have a lot of subscribers. And also, it's sad, but I will not get any plaque. Also, there will not be some cool unboxing. You know what? Maybe I should make my own plaque. Oh my gosh, I'm not artistic at all. This will be hilarious. I can make like a cardboard plaque with like marker for 100. You know how people, they get, usually if you're monetized and you're in the YouTube partner program, they won't let me be in the program because I reuse other people's clips and they say I don't edit it enough. So anyway, I won't get the plaque because I'm not in the program, but I should just make my own plaque, right? I think so. We'll make a cardboard plaque and it'll be awesome. I'll hang it somewhere back here. I'll just have it say like 100,000 subscribers and hang it on my curtain. It'll be awesome. All right. Okay, we're technically at the time, but we can go over a little bit. It's fine. I don't have anywhere to be right now. So if you have questions or things you want to chat about, I can try to look back. Sometimes if people are talking about questions, though, it's to other people in the chat. And then I don't know if it was for me or for somebody else. You want to see more fan-made music videos? I do have some songs. So if I use a whole song, and it's, you know, a popular song, it will have a copyright claim. But as I said, they generally don't do strikes. And actually I realized that, yeah, they didn't do strikes for when I used a whole song for the Pride ones. The Pride videos I did this year and last year use a whole song. So I think the music generally they won't do strikes for. At least they haven't done that yet for me. I have some songs I really want to do, but I don't know. My editing is, there's people that are really talented with those music videos that they do with BL series, and they're so beautiful and the transitions are so cool, and I don't know how to do those things. I know how to make silly comments and change subtitles and do a lot of innuendo. So I don't know if people always catch all the innuendo. Some of it might be kind of specific to maybe the US or, but I put a lot of innuendo in. Make a plaque. Yeah, but then I have to get like a P.O. box or something. How are you going to send? Oh, you could message me a picture, and I could print it out on a piece of paper. Yes, let's do it. Someone make me 100,000 subscriber and send it to me, and I'll talking about something like Unforgotten Night. Okay, let's see here. Using my drama list as a basis, what would I say are the 2 most underrated BLs? Ooh. I feel like I'd have to look this up. I'm going to write it on my list, and I'll also look at the chat. Because I don't really know what the overall rating is on my drama list. I have noticed, though, that I think fluffy rom-coms seem to be higher. And I've noticed that some more serious things, so stuff from Japan, an example would be Tokyo in April Is, that's airing right now. I think it has a 7.7. 7.7? How? That just boggles my mind. Like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. So, I mean, maybe that would be one, but I think there's quite a few. I'll look them up, though, and see if I can find ones that are rated low that I really enjoyed. So, kind of with any reviews you see, I think you should definitely take it with a grain of salt, right? Because everyone brings different perspectives and different ideas and what they like and don't like in fiction. So I'd say you should give it, the first episode. And if you really aren't feeling it, then feel free to drop it. And if you are liking it, then you should keep watching it. And if other people don't like it, don't care about other people, like what other people think. Listen, everyone, here's some life advice. We might have one life to live, okay? I'm not sure, but we might have one. So, for the most part, do what you want to do. As long as you're not hurting other people, you should do what you enjoy, because this might be the only time that you get to do it. So that's my life advice. Okay, other questions? Besides UN, what other series is the most memeable one? Ooh, it really depends. And also, if I like a series, I tend to make more memes of it. I'm trying to think of which series has had the most memes so far. I don't even know. I'd have to go back and look. I can look back, though, for the next time we do a live and answer it. So I would say the series that has a lot of possibilities for changing subtitles would be the censored stuff from China, like The Untamed and Word of Honor, because it's kind of extra funny since we know they're thinking it anyway. I edited in a wedding. Oh my gosh. I edited in a wedding in The Untamed when they go into the cave with all of the white rabbits. I mean, I think that was hilarious. And then he said, you know, I have a big sword. So I have a lot of fun with those when I include them. I think there's a lot that you can do with the subtitles in there. It's interesting because it hasn't happened much, but there have been a couple times that people got upset that I changed the subtitles or they didn't realize that I changed them on purpose. I don't know. It was strange. I was like, this is for humor. These are not the original subtitles. They are in a different color font and a different size, mostly. But yeah, anyway. You have to go. Bye if you had to go. Love funny stuff. Oh, you catch the innuendo. Good. I'm glad you catch it. There have been a few times that I did think I went a little too far, but oh well. And I would say, but it's not very frequent. There have been a few times that I wanted to put something in and I did not. But it doesn't happen very often. Generally, I edit how I'd like to edit. Tokyo in April is so good. Oh, it's okay. So I think someone was saying that they were waiting until it ended to binge it. Yeah, it's good, but it is serious. So I think maybe that's why it gets a lower rating. Choco milkshake is underrated on MDL. I wonder what the score is on MDL. Do you know? Is it under 8? I hope it's not under 8. But I can't remember all the series. I know I've seen series where I thought that's too low. I rate something as a 9.5 and the overall is like 7.5. It's rated 7.4? Choco milkshake is rated 7.4? Are you kidding me? I'm shocked. 7.4. Wow. I think probably why, if I had to take a guess, is that the plot is different. And when I first read the plot or the trailer, it's Strongberry, so I have faith in them. And I think they did a really good job. But I do think the plot was just a little out there for some people. So I think maybe that's why it has a 7.4 is because if it had been a different plot with the actors and the chemistry and the actual kissing, Strongberry does a good job of having like realistic kisses. They generally don't do dead fish lip presses, so thank you to them. 7.4. Ouch. Yeah, that's pretty low. I don't remember what I rated it. At least an 8.5, I think. Probably somewhere between 8.5 and 9, I'd say I probably rated it. But again, it's, personal opinion. You're going to a Sam Lin fan meeting later? Ooh, congrats, Yummy. If I could go to a fan meeting, which actors would I like to meet? I mean, all of them? Can I go to like every country and visit all the actors? I don't even know how I would narrow this down. I do want to go to several of the countries that produce BL. It is not happening in the next year or two. And every time I wake up early, I just look and search for flights to pretty much anywhere in the US or the world. And then I look at the prices and then I stop searching. So I mean, it's not a solidified plan, but I'm planning to go to Japan in the spring of 2025. So not this next year, but the year after. But it's not a solidified plan yet. But I would really like to go to a lot of the countries. That'd be really fun. And I did want to go to kind of like some BL things, right? If there's like a manga store, or I know they have those cafes in Japan, or do something. And if I travel, I will let you all know. And if you want to meet up for lunch or something, or do something BL themed, I'm happy to do that. And then you can give me the inside scoop about which restaurant to go to. And, you know, I really enjoyed traveling if there's someone local that can give you some tips and tricks. That's the best. Choco milkshake. Yeah, the plot was what? It was unique. Choco milkshake plot was the choice. It was unique. But again, I think they did a good job with it. You should watch it. There's a little, I'd say there's some angst, but I mean, I don't want to spoil things, but it's not tragic. So I think you get the go ahead. I know some people really don't want, well, I don't really want to see tragic stuff. It's okay if a tragic thing is done well and it makes sense to the plot, but I've seen so much tragedy with queer things that were just thrown in for no reason at all, and I think it's overdone. So I'd like to see more of the happily ever afters. Woo! Yummy! Sushi! Woohoo! We'll do it in 2 years. If I make it in 2 years, or I guess maybe a year and a half-ish. Oh, you enjoy my ratings. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. I do sometimes get pushback with the ratings, or with what I label as content warnings. People might call them trigger warnings, but I don't know what triggers people. So I call them content warnings. And as I tried to explain to the people that really don't like them, that I think they can be helpful for people because we don't know what everyone has gone through in their past that could be really traumatizing. And I'm sure I miss some that I should have included. And I'm sure I probably include some that don't need to be included, that nobody would care about. But, you know, I'm trying to be helpful. So I'm not trying to be like mean. I'm trying to be helpful with the ratings, my reviews. Oh yeah, I saw there was a novelist cafe. I think it was a temporary thing though. I think I heard in Japan they do kind of pop-ups for different BL, right? And maybe other series too, or maybe more specifically manga. Yeah. People are typing about Bedfriend. Yes, there was a lot of trauma. I think part of the thing I struggled with that, I think I put this in the review actually, was based on the title of the series, Bedfriend, and then the trailer, I went in with a certain idea of what the series was going to be. And then the actual series was fairly different. And so that was kind of jarring. And I don't think I'm alone in that I thought it was going to be a certain way, and it kind of was very different than how I thought it was going to be done. Yes. Yemi said that if you're going to have trauma, there's trauma in the book, tell us. Here's another example of source material adaptation to screen. Because I think when they adapt, especially a written book, because manga, I mean, they have a lot of pictures, right? So there's not as much text. If you have a book and it's several hundred pages and you only have the budget or screen time for, 12 episodes of 30, 40 minutes each, it's almost impossible to take the entire book and put it into a screenplay without it being choppy or underdeveloped. So I personally would rather they modify or just not include, I'm sure they already don't include all the scenes, but just take out some of the characters, some of the side plots, because there was a lot of trauma and I think they could have left some of it in, but at a certain point it was just a lot. And I think it just wasn't fully developed. It could have been developed better, more. So again, my personal opinion. If you liked it as it was, that's cool. Fine with angst. Oh, some people went without watching the trailer. I generally watch the trailer, but if I hear that a trailer is really spoilery, that it basically tells the whole story, then I try not to watch the trailer. So, yeah, I sometimes like spoilers, and sometimes I don't. It just depends. So sometimes I watch them. What are my 2 favorite currently airing? Oh, so you may have come a little bit late. I talked about my favorite ones. So let me make sure that I've got them right. I don't want to say the wrong ones. But the ones that are currently airing that I really enjoy are Tokyo in April Is and Stay by My Side. I also really enjoying Be My Favorite. And I think Stay With Me is doing a pretty good job as well. And the Laws of Attraction just aired. What time is it? About 12 hours ago. So they did a premiere on YouTube that was unsubbed, which is what they did with To Sir With Love. And then I think after the live premiere, then they had it was up with English subs, maybe only in the US. I know it wasn't everywhere, on IQIYI. Did not know that it was going to be, or how quickly it was going to be on IQIYI, and I really wanted to watch it. So I watched it unsubbed using my 10 words of Thai that I know. And you can figure out what the plot is, right? Just by watching it and picking up a couple of the words. But it was good. It was very huge content warnings. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil it, but just that first episode was a doozy. And I'm not sure about, I think his character name is Charn, the lawyer. I think we'll get some more of his background in future episodes. There's a bit of mystery happening, but that it could be a series that I really, really enjoy, but it could also be a series that doesn't quite work for me personally. So it really is too soon to tell, I think. And I haven't written a review of it yet because it just aired this morning. And I don't know if I can go back and watch that whole episode with subtitles. So I might skip parts of it and watch certain parts with subtitles. But as we talked about earlier, I like happy things. And I did cry during that episode. And that was on a faster speed and without subtitles, because I like to play things, even premieres I play on faster speeds. So I was playing it on a faster speed and I still was crying. So I don't know that I can watch the whole thing with subtitles. I will write a review of it though, and I'll try to be spoiler. I generally try to be spoiler free in my initial review, and then sometimes I'll put spoilers in the final one and take it as spoilers. Sometimes I'll put spoilers in a comment and make the comment spoilers. It just, I don't know, kind of depends on how I feel. So, but if anyone wants angst, then you should watch Laws of Attraction. And I believe that is a BL. I think that's a confirmed thing. So I'm reading through the comments. Be My Favorite might move up to a fave tie show. You have to see how it wraps. Yeah, that's the thing. So some series, I look back at my initial impression when I'm writing the final one, and they really drop because they just ruin the ending, or they totally do character assassination or something, and cliches abound, and it just, my review goes down. And on the flip side, some things really go up. So something you might not have heard about is Stupid Genius. It's from Vietnam. It's free to watch on YouTube. It's from, the production company is, what is it? RL Studio. I think it's RL Studio. But if you look up Stupid Genius episode 1, I bet it'll probably come up in search. Unfortunately, Vietnam isn't in MyDramaList, so I don't put reviews because it's not in there. But it's a comedy, and, you know, they said in an interview that they filmed in 4 days, and they probably had like no budget or a very small budget, and it was good. I was enjoying it. I mean, there's some things I would have changed, but it was doing pretty well. And then the last episode was really good. Really, it was one of the, like, my favorite final episodes I've seen in quite some time. I thought they just really had some good messages, and they wrapped things up well. And I don't want to give too much away, but there's something that happens after the initial credit. And it's what I think several series we've seen recently thought they were doing and totally botched, which is they wanted to have, I don't even know if I want to say it exactly though. I don't want to spoil the, I don't care about spoiling the other ones. I don't want to spoil Stupid Genius for you. But basically, Stupid Genius has a cohesive plot throughout. It has like a understandable, cohesive plot. You know what's going on. It makes sense throughout the series. And then in the last episode, after the initial credits, there's a scene, and it changes your opinion on things. However, it still all makes sense. It still is all cohesive. So I think some series try to do that and then just fail because it's like the writers knew where the plot was going, but you can't just have things be super choppy and confusing and expect that everyone's going to keep watching something until the very end and then understand what's happening. So anyway, you should go watch it on YouTube. They could use more views. It was well done. I enjoyed it. Is Stay With Me going to be a bromance? There are whole discussions on MDL about that situation. I haven't seen episode 8. I was watching episode 7 about an hour before the live. I personally think it is a censored BL. So the author wrote Addicted, which is based on a book, and it's a BL. And I think this one might be based on a book as well, but it's kind of a retelling of Addicted. I'm trying to separate them out in my review instead of comparing and contrasting. But so a bromance to me is two guys who are friends. They don't like each other romantically. They are platonic friends. I mean, maybe there's like a few moments, but it's very clear. Maybe one or both have girlfriends, or they end up with girlfriends. So we're only in episode 8 of, how many is it? Is it 24? There's a bunch. There's a lot of episodes in this one. So I think it's too early to know for sure, but I think it's a censored BL because some of the things that the characters have done or the way they looked at the other guy, that's not a friend thing, right? That's not, you have to read into it and realize that it had to go through probably censorship in order to be aired. And I don't understand how that all works. If it's not aired in China, it's aired outside of China. But if it was still made in China, but aired outside of China, does it still have to? I don't know. I don't understand all the rules of the censorship. But so I am enjoying it though. And I guess we'll see. I highly doubt there's going to be like kissing. I don't think personally we're going to see kissing. I guess if they don't end up with girlfriends, I think that is pretty telling, actually, to me. Is if they end up having girlfriends, then it's a bromance. But if they don't, if there's mentions of soulmates, like in Word of Honor, talking about soulmates all the time, then I think that's censored BL. So, best place to find novels with English subs. Oh, that's to another person. I've heard, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Meb? M-E-B? I think has some Thai novels that you can get translated. I think that's an official site. I've seen some of the manga on Amazon, and they have digital versions, so I usually get the digital version instead of the physical version. But Our Dining Table has a translation, and I enjoyed that. So that's on Amazon. You can buy it on there. On Amazon. Oh, okay. Someone said mostly buy English BL on Amazon, but mostly written in Japanese because it's not available in English. It does seem that a lot is not available in English, especially from Japan, I feel. Be my favorite. People are saying be my favorite. All right. I'm going to wrap this up, I think. 24 episodes for Stay With Me. Okay, I was right. I couldn't remember. I think it's because they're about 30 minutes each, and I couldn't remember if it was 24 episodes or 30 episodes, but they are. Stay With Me is 24 episodes, and 8 have aired. It airs for a week, and it's on Gaga Ulala and Viki. Both, although it might depend on your country. A lot of things depend on your country as to which platform it's on, which can get really confusing. So, I had one question though. I forgot at the end. Okay, my next 5-minute video. So I'm doing the remix video in, what day is today? Saturday? In 2 days. So that will be that one. And then I need another 5-minute video. I have a couple of ideas. So I'll run them by the people that are here and you let me know. So one was proposals/marriage. I could do a video that focuses on guys proposing and or getting married, which I think would be fun. It will be a little tricky because I can only use 30 seconds. If I use more than 30 seconds, then there's generally more copyright claims. So I try to stick to under 30 seconds each, and that might be a little tricky to capture those types of scenes, but I don't know. I'm up for a challenge. I could try and make it work. The last video, the moving in together, that was actually really challenging. That took me way longer than some of my other videos. You might not have thought that, but because moving in together is not generally one scene. So a sponge bath or a piggyback ride, that's generally one set scene. But these kind of moving in together, might be a scene where they talk about it or to show the reason why. And then there might be a scene where they actually move in together. And then there might be a scene later on that's something funny that happened. And so I had to go through and look at all the scenes and then record all the scenes and figure it out and then cut down to 30 seconds. So that one was actually really challenging. Okay, the other one, sorry. The proposal marriage, I went somewhere else. Okay. I also thought of doing BL guys are terrified of. So basically things that BL guys are really afraid of. I thought that might be kind of funny. There's some clips that I could do that are funny. Or I could do a compilation of a theme I've already done before. So I could do like another accidental fall and kiss. I could do a kiss or miss video. I could do another piggyback ride. I mean, there's some of those tropes. I could make 10 videos a year on the same trope because there's just a ton of scenes of it. But so what do you all think? Let me hear. Do you want like proposals marriage? Do you want things guys are terrified of? Do you want something else? Let's see. Now's your time to vote. Do 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 do. Playing in the ocean montage. Ooh. There are a lot of playing in the ocean. The tricky thing with a playing in the ocean montage, that would be a good music video, but that would be a difficult one, I think, to do my regular compilation because I don't know how well I could put the humor. And they generally, a lot of those, they don't have subtitles. It's music. And they're, you know, playing on the beach and playing around in the water. And it's music instead of subtitles that I could modify. But I will write it down. Maybe afraid of proposals. Okay, this is like equal. This is equal measure here. Half of you have said proposals and half of you have said afraid of. So that means neither one. Just kidding. It means both, but not on the same week. Yeah, there's a ton of ocean ones. People have spoken. Riding motorbikes, motorcycles together. I have a video. Oh, what did I call it? Did I say BL guys like to ride? I think that's the name of it. I think it's BL guys like to ride, but it wasn't specifically, it was all different things. There was a horse on it. There was a motorcycle. There was, I think, a fancy car. There was a bicycle. I did all kinds of modes of transportation. It might have been a bus or something. I mean, I can do it again. I think the afraid of seems to have things they're terrified of sound funny. It does sound really funny. I mean, the marriage one would be sweet, I think, but Rain likes to ride too. Isn't he the best rider? Wasn't he trained to be the best rider? Okay. We're almost at an hour and a half. Okay, everyone. I'm going to say goodnight. This, I think, actually will go up right away, but the chat replay won't. I don't think it goes on YouTube right away. I think it takes YouTube a while or something. So that will happen later. I did put a link earlier up in the chat that you can click on for dimples if you want to see a bunch of dimples. And then I was going to say something else, and now I don't know. Everyone's laughing at the Rain likes to ride. Oh, and then the I'll put in chapter titles kind of based on the questions a little bit with timings. And then I'll also edit the subtitles. They are added, I think within a day, YouTube will add the subtitles, but I will go edit them because YouTube, I don't think translated BL. They had all different words for it, but it was not, I was like, I think I'm speaking decently, enunciating, but I guess YouTube's automatic thing did not agree with me with the BL. Good night, everyone. Thanks for contribution, MDL. Fun videos. Thank you. Good chat. Yeah. Have fun at the Samland fan meeting. That sounds super fun. All right. Have a good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. Happy BL watching and reading. And I'll have a live, who knows when, but somewhere between 1 to 3 months after this point. And I should be dancing with a sword. And YouTube, it's a dance prop. Okay, YouTube, dance, prop. All right? So let me dance with my sword, please. All right. Till the next time, have fun with all of your watching and reading, everyone. Bye!